Music and entertainment are critical in everyone's well-being. It can actually change your mood, and that's what we're looking for, is that opportunity to embrace that. Noteworthy is a talk show where I get to have conversations with some of my favorite people. I get to find out what drives them and what is their passion. These are their noteworthy stories.
Hi, I'm Gladi.
And I'm Laura.
And you're watching Brand New Day on Be Well TV. Catch us here on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Today we have a very special guest lined up for you. Designer and creator of Daisies Candle Co, Walleska Rodriguez.
Yay! Welcome, Walleska. Well, we are so thrilled to have her on the show today. As you know, H&F Redefined focuses on featuring the stories of new entrepreneurs that are built upon innovators that were either furloughed or laid off. And we write and share the stories on our website and our blog about how they transitioned through that furlough period, and maybe they were laid off at one point, and what they've been up to, and especially those that have really dug deep and started out a new venture and created a new brand business. And Walleska happens to be one of our special innovators. She recently was featured on our website as one of our light bulb moments. So again, welcome to the show. We are so thrilled to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
We thought no better person to be on our show than somebody who shares a similar story like us. You kind of grew up in the ranks through hospitality, and were furloughed last year in March, and now you've kind of created your own company, your own brand. So we want to talk to you and pick your brain a little bit about that. But what we want to do first is for you to take us back to last year, take us back to March 2020, and tell us what you were doing before you got furloughed. You know, those 2 weeks leading up to it, before anybody knew anything about this darn pandemic.
Sure. Well, thanks again for having me. I really appreciate being here with you ladies. Well, 2 weeks before being furloughed, it was hustle and bustle at the hotel that I work for. We were preparing for the Arnold Palmer Invitational with customers and trying to get them in, entertaining them, and showing them why our hotel was the best to be at in Orlando. So as you can imagine, we were super busy, just making sure that everything was great, and that they also had a great experience. Following week, celebrating my husband's birthday. So I missed a meeting that we all had to go to, but the information was relayed back to me that this COVID thing was happening, but we didn't know what it was or where it was, what we were going to do. So we got super nervous, but still we continued with my husband's birthday celebration, get back to work the following week.
In your mind, everything was still kind of normal.
For sure, everything was
business
like,
as usual.
Business and I remember that phase where you're kind of like, is this really real? Is it like, how serious is this? No one was really sure what the impact was going to be, and you couldn't have at that point.
For sure. Yeah, we were just up in the air at that moment, news on every single day, what's happening, what are they saying? And then one by one, you know people in the market, and they're speaking, and so you're like, when is it going to be your turn? And it finally was my turn.
Oh, no.
And sadly, I understood the circumstances. Super unfortunate for everyone, but you had to roll with the punches. For me, it was more. What overtook me a little bit more was, oh my gosh, I've never not worked. I've never not been in a hotel. What am I going to do?
Right.
My letter said May, so I'm like, all right, it's only a few months. May it is.
Which we can laugh about now, because I think we all got a letter that said May-ish.
Right.
And it's been a year.
Mine didn't say anything. Mine just said, well, one day.
We'll get back to you.
Yeah. So mine said May, and I thought that was going to be it. I have 3 daughters, and I'm like, what am I going to do with these three girls for all this time? So we hit the dollar store. And just to get things, here's what we're going to do, and being creative.
What's the age range?
The age range at that time was 18, 13, and 4.
Oh wow, okay.
All right.
That's
So-
quite a scale there.
It is. It is. So it was more of how do we get the baby entertained? You
Yeah.
know?
Right.
Oh yeah.
And I have a feeling this has something to do with the name of your company,
It
but we're
is.
going to get there in just a moment because we definitely want to hear more about, okay, so now you've been furloughed and now you have all this free time that you've never had before. What are you doing now? You've been off, let's say, without work for about a month. Now we're heading into May. What are you doing with your time?
Well, I'm waiting for the phone call, first of all, to
Yeah.
come back because I'm like, I cannot do this anymore. This is just so new to me.
Yeah.
So being at home for a month, you get a lot of thinking in, a lot of cleaning, as you may know, and just what am I going to do now? What's next? And you know, my husband and I, every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays, we just leave the girls at home and we go grab coffee and, you know, do our little errands. And one Saturday in particular, around June, he was like, Wally, and I said, we gotta go get coffee. And then he's like, great. And then on our way to go get coffee, I said, we have to stop at the store and buy some candles. We were running out. And he says, why don't you make your own? And I'm like, what are you talking about? This is crazy. And
First of all, this sounds like a lovely Saturday morning with your
I know,
husband buying
right?
your coffee
Yeah.
and then shopping for candles.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, before the whole
Well, and when was the last time that you had that, you know, ability to just be like, oh, well, you were sales, so you probably had that a lot. So, no jab from the event girls over here, but just how lovely to even, it's such a small thing to be able to look back and say, wow, I actually had time to just go get coffee and buy some candles,
Yeah.
where in hospitality, those moments are few and far between.
For sure, they really, really are. So we have to appreciate them
Yeah.
when we have them. And we had our little moment. We go to the store. I'm still like, why is this guy telling me to make my candles? But we still went. We bought the candles, and curiosity just started getting to me. And I'm like, how do you make these candles? What do we do? And he
I
says,
love that.
Wally, I'm gonna contribute into this company. You're gonna do it. I'm gonna give you $500 and we're gonna do this.
Oh
And
my
again,
gosh.
still, I'm like, all right, so Googling and YouTubing and researching, that's how we got to
Wow.
3 Daisies.
Wow, how
Wow.
supportive, and just kudos to your husband. I mean, what a cool idea. And I don't even know if it would ever occur to my husband to even talk about candles,
Yeah.
number one, with me. But he probably saw that you needed something, that you
an
needed
outlet.
something to latch onto and connect to.
Yeah.
And I think that's really endearing and sweet that he offered up that idea and just said, let's do this. You
Yeah.
know, she needs a hobby. She
Right,
needs
for
something.
sure.
So you created a candle company, 3 Daisies Candle Company. I'm sure at some point your website's going to scroll across the screen here in just a minute. But tell us a little bit about the brand name. Where did it come from? What's the meaning behind it?
So 3 Daisies stems from, and again, this all happened in the car when we were talking about me making candles.
Oh,
and I'm
wow.
like, what can we name it? And 3 Daisies stems from my 3 daughters, Neve, Janaya, and Juliet. And 3 Daisies, or daisies, signify purity. And I just said, wow, what a great little name for this company.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
It
Oh,
flows.
it's beautiful. Yeah, it does.
And so you had to teach yourself the art of candle making. I have to imagine that you hadn't perfected it right away.
For sure.
So how were those first couple of attempts?
Those first couple of attempts were very tedious. It was lots of learning, lots of mixing, lots of heat, messes everywhere. But we finally started to, do the right thing and do what we had to do to make these candles work. And of course, lots of money also. So those $500 that he provided in the beginning, that didn't last much.
Sure.
So to learn the method, you said you were just going online, or how does one self-train themselves to develop a craft like candle making?
Sure. So I am a go-getter, and so when I set my mind on something, I'm going to get it, and I don't care how many times I fail. So lots of research, and YouTube. I mean, who could have thought that YouTube was going to be such a great source for everyone, right? So lots of YouTube. I began to follow a couple of candle makers here in the United States, and I kept watching and reading what they had to say and doing what they were saying to do. I wouldn't say that necessarily I did everything because you have to find what you're going to do and what
Right.
works best for you. And I finally found that, and here we are today.
So when did you finally launch your company?
3 Daisies was launched in October of 2020.
Okay,
Wow.
yeah, so not too long ago. So as a new entrepreneur and a new business owner, you've obviously learned a lot of tricks of the trade along the way. So as anybody who's watching this and wants, is looking for a new like startup tips, what would you say is advice that you wish you knew when you started your company that you know now that you could share with other
That's a great question.
business starters?
That is a very good question. In the beginning, when we said we're going to create this business, I didn't know how much work and energy having a small little business it takes to make it work and happen every single day. So I feel that I wish somebody would have told me that, it's going to be hard, it's not going to be easy, long nights, long days, weekends that will take you away from your family, but all worth it at the end. So definitely just
The
having
commitment.
more
Right.
the
Yeah.
commitment of having
Well,
more
and I
hands.
love hearing you say that because we obviously, as kind of being the center of H&F Redefined, we are hearing the stories from all of our innovators. I think we're up to like almost 50 or so innovators
Yeah.
at this point that we've interviewed and heard the stories of, and that is a recurring message that every single one of them tells us. And it's why we love having this platform to share those stories, because there are certain themes like that if you are a new entrepreneur or you're afraid to take that leap, hearing that the same messages over and over and over should be, or hopefully is what truly resonates with you and makes you think, okay, I've heard it from them, this must be true. And that's what we kind of love about being able to have all of these, different individuals like yourself together, is you have very different products. We don't have one overlapping brands
Right.
within H&F right now.
Right.
Every single brand is completely different,
great.
which is so cool and
Yeah.
part of the reasons why we love this platform. But the messaging and that business and brand advice is so similar, and there's just so many parallels there. And
Sure.
I think it's so important for
Yeah.
somebody who's trying to start a new business is really, really read their stories and read the pro tips and,
Learn from people who are doing it.
yeah, learn from people that
You know?
are already doing it and are just brand new to doing it. So,
Yeah, one of the things that we had to learn is the demand for social media.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the way to make your business work, regardless of which platform you use, you got to pick one or pick all 5 or 6 or whatever. But once you start it, you can't give up on it because
Right.
you're going to lose traction.
Right.
For sure.
So one of the things that we learned starting off is the demand for social media. You
yeah.
have to keep up with it. So are there any social media tricks that you've learned that you can share, or are your daughters now your social media experts for you?
The
Because
18-year-old?
We know, yeah, we've got a couple teenagers in
Yeah.
our world that are helping us with the reels and all that
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Yeah, the reels are, gosh, we'll get into that later. But I mean, yes, for me, it was always going to be Instagram. I knew that my clientele or my particular, the niche that I
That
was
makes
going
sense.
was on Instagram. And I do dabble into Facebook, but it's not my main. I can't imagine anyone having more than 2 or 3 platforms to manage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a
We
lot.
have
It's
like
insane.
all of
like
them.
5, yes.
So, I mean, I've learned that hashtags are huge. It's like a Google search for everything. I mean, you can Google candle and 1 million candles will come up,
Yeah.
or Orlando, Florida, and everything under Orlando, if you hashtag that, will come up. So hashtags for me has been key.
Yeah.
Is there a
Okay.
trick to which hashtags you use or select? Because you could pick candle maker, but there's 2 million posts
Right.
on that. Yours is going to get buried in that. Is there?
There is a trick. So I try to keep anything under 5,000 hashtags in it. Because again, like you said,
Yeah.
if I go into the millions, it's
Yeah,
going to get buried.
gonna get
Nobody's
buried.
ever going to find me.
Yeah.
So anything under 5 is good. 100K is also good too. Anything that's not in the millions is good for me.
Yeah,
for sure.
and the longer tails.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
kind of a trick that we've learned is kind of 500,000 and under, and the longer tail. So, like candle maker lifestyle.
Right, right, yeah.
So you're located right here in our backyard in Orlando, Florida, but can your products be purchased anywhere in the nation and shipped, or can you walk us through the availability of your products?
Sure. Yes, our products are available. Not only do we pop up in Central Florida, but we do have an online shop. So anyone, anywhere in the U.S. and Canada can purchase our candles, or they can shoot us a DM or email and get their candles that way as well.
And tell us a little bit about your line. What can we expect from your scents and the look? We have a couple of samples here on the table. Tell us a little bit about your products.
So 3 Daisies, we feature 3 total sizes. So you have a 13-ounce jar, you have a 6-ounce tin, and you also have a 3-ounce jar that we have here today. Our scents range from fruity to manly to beachy. I don't want to ever have more than 11 or 12 different scents, and we do have seasonal scents as well.
Oh, great.
It just becomes a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
A little bit for everyone.
A little bit for
Sounds like.
everyone, yeah. A little sweet. We have some food in there. We have a vanilla one that smells just like cake. So
We
a little
just
bit
smelled
for
that.
everything. Yeah.
That one made us hungry.
Yeah. We need cupcakes now.
Nom, nom, nom. And they're all soy.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what makes your candles unique. So over and above the fact that they smell delicious and amazing, tell us about, I know they're toxic free, they're soy.
So
Educate us.
Our candle, when we began the whole process of building 3 Daisies, there's so many different options of the wax that you can select from: apricot, coconut, mixed blend. And that's where my research came along. I wanted to make sure that when someone was going to pick up my candle, they would bring it home and it would be a safe candle, not only burning wise, but also when you're inhaling the candle and the candle is lit. So it was important for me to have something completely
I never thought about
organic.
Right. Well, so tell us more about that, because it wasn't until I got familiar with 3 Daisies and we were writing your story that I even knew that that was a thing. So do we have candles at home that are not safe? What makes them not safe?
I would have to say yes. It's just what goes into the candle. A lot of times we purchase candles, 1, because of the way the vessel looks, and 2, because of how it smells, or it might bring you back to a certain time in your life. But when you're lighting this candle, we want to be careful. 1, because we don't know what's in it. When you go to the grocery store, a lot of times you turn the package around and you're seeing the ingredients. And for me, if I don't know what a specific ingredient is, I'm not going to buy it. And I'll go another route. But for these candles, it was hard for me to it made me upset to know that I was purchasing candles and spent so many hundreds and thousands of dollars at one store for so many years. And we were getting this beautiful scent, and it would go throughout the entire house, even outside if you were to open the door. And now I know why. It's because of what they put in the candle and all the additives that are added into these candles. So with 3 Daisies, we don't add anything. I don't even add color to my candles because I want it to be 100% organic and just you get 3 things. You get the wax, you get the fragrance, and you get the vessel, and that's it.
Wow. That's really interesting information, because I'm definitely the person that picks the candle because it looks cute and it's going to match my decor at home, versus I don't think I've ever looked at a label to read the ingredients.
Yeah, it sounds like we just need we could be a little more selective.
Right.
And you hear horror stories all the time about accidents with people leaving them unattained at home.
Yes.
And, they explode essentially. So be careful, be selective with what you purchase. Interesting, though. It's very interesting. So, so what are the scents here that you brought for us, just to give our viewers a little bit of insight of what you have?
Yeah, so we brought here Springtime, our plum cider candle, and then our vanilla cream. And these candles smell amazing. I mean, the minute you open them from the lid, it's in your face.
I mean,
Aesthetically,
I love
it's
this
great.
one.
We decided to go with a jar that was going to be aesthetically pleasing in any room, but not only that
so
it's
Yeah,
aesthetically
that's amazing.
pleasing, but also a jar that you can repurpose in the future.
Yes. So,
and I've never thought about doing that until I heard that from you. I've never thought to repurpose my jar. So basically, how do you do that? You burn it all the way down, and then what do you clean it out with?
So being that this is all natural soy,
Right.
it's biodegradable and it is a water soluble. So for me, it's easiest to get it all the way down. I'll put some hot water in it and it'll go just like that. Clean it out with a napkin.
Okay.
I usually use a spoon to get the wick.
remnant.
Yeah,
Okay.
the wick,
wick.
and also
Okay.
any remnants that's around
Sure.
the candle. But that's the way you can repurpose it.
Okay.
yeah, they're beautiful. They look great.
you.
Yeah, I love
Um,
the
They look
jars.
great. It looks like they will match anybody's decor at
Yeah,
home.
for sure.
But we talked to you recently about our upcoming seasonal solutions, and she's going to be partnering with us on our upcoming spring seasonal solutions.
Yep, and actually we just published that site this week, so it is officially live, and Three Daisies is one of the, I want to say we have 8 total innovators on our spring seasonal solutions page, so it's very exciting. And the collection that Three Daisies, do you want to tell us, why don't you tell us what the product is that we're featuring on our page?
Sure. So we are featuring the springtime scent. It is a lemongrass scent.
That's this one.
It's right here. It smells so fresh and so clean. Love it. And this will be available on your website as well as ours as well. And it comes in a bundle set. So you'll get our 13-ounce candle, our 6-ounce candle, and then our 3-ounce candle.
And so then the 13 ounce and the 3 ounce is the jars, and then the 6 ounce is a tin.
tin.
Okay, that's awesome.
So one for every room in the house, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
a little bit for
exactly.
everything.
Awesome.
So tell us a little bit more about what is going on with your brand. What do you have coming up?
Sure. So we definitely pop up in Central Florida a lot. We try about 2 to 3 times per month of popping up in different locations. I won't say them here only because I don't know where I'll be. But if you follow us on Instagram, you'll get a list of everything at the beginning of the month of where we'll be
Okay.
and what we're doing.
We tried to catch you at one last week, but
Yes.
then we were literally en route in our cars, and here came the rain.
I know.
And yeah, so we were trying.
It's okay. It's okay. And we made it work anyway.
Yeah.
We
Right?
did. Yeah.
Great.
Right. Yeah.
And so then, in terms of scents, what do you have coming up? So the spring is a seasonal collection,
Yes.
so that will discontinue at what point?
Right after Easter. I would say like
Okay.
the week after Easter, it'll just continue.
And what are the scents that you always have that are your standard scents that the audience can know, all year long they can always get?
Yep. So we have citrus agave. That one is a customer favorite. That one's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Okay.
We've got our sweet pomegranate. That one's also a great candle
one
as
sounds
well.
amazing.
Smells so good.
Yeah.
Our beach bum is, we considered doing a seasonal, but I feel like we're in Florida and we need to have a tropical candle
Yeah.
throughout the entire year. So that one's a little mango, a little coconut. Brings you back to the beach if you can't make it there.
Yeah.
What else do we have? We have a nag champa, which is a incense type candle,
Okay.
a vintage candle that will bring you back to a library or an old office.
Ooh, that one sounds
It,
interesting.
Yeah.
I actually love it.
Yeah.
that
It's a
sounds
great
great.
scent for sure. Our vanilla, of course, you have to have a vanilla.
It sounds like I need
Yeah.
one of everything in my
I know.
home.
I'm thinking of everybody in my life that I can
Yeah.
Right.
gift. It's like,
Well-
as you're saying them and describing them, I'm like, that's for the mother-in-law, that's for
Yeah.
the mom.
Well, Mother's
that's-
Day is coming up.
That's right.
Yeah.
What
That's
is
right.
that, May? So
In May.
then there's also Easter. So
Yeah.
if you put together little Easter baskets,
Sure.
it's a nice addition
That's a
to
really
that.
great
So,
point.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's a
I think
great
we need,
point.
I think we need our own edition of this.
Yeah,
know.
I think so
know.
too.
Okay, so what else do you have to share with us today? We
So-
want to make sure we get everything that you want to tell us about your brand out there
Yeah,
today.
for sure. Well, again, you guys can all catch me on Instagram. Be sure to follow and, tag us when you purchase a candle. We did talk about the upcycling of the jars. So really quickly, I'll just mention if you've ever purchased a jar or a candle from Three Daisies, just bring it back to any one of our pop-ups. and you'll be able to receive $5 off of your next candle.
Oh, how
If you
cool.
don't want to upcycle it, then
Yeah.
you just bring it back.
That's
Don't throw
great.
it away.
That's
But
great
in
idea.
addition to that,
So
we have
smart.
some great news that we want to share, and I thought that we
Yeah.
just do that now.
Oh,
What you got there?
Yeah. All right.
It's a nice
tell
little
us what
package
got
for you here. I thought I'd
how
let you do the honors.
exciting. Oh, yes.
Very cool.
So-
yeah, the label says, it looks like it says redefined
Yeah.
by heart and
hey,
faith.
that's us. Oh, my gosh. So we should probably take this time to
Yeah,
announce
that's
that
right.
one of our first collaborations with one of our innovators is our own signature redefined product. So H&F Redefined has officially partnered with 3 Daisies Candle Co, and they have created a signature candle scent just for us. So this is actually the first time that we're seeing,
Yeah.
you know, the packaging or the label come to life. We obviously
Yeah.
helped design the label,
That's right.
but we've never seen it in front of ourselves, so that is awesome.
Let's
so
check it out.
Let's do the unveiling here and make sure.
I'm so excited.
I know. Oh my gosh, this is like a.
Don't
It's a
drop it
Christmas
now.
almost.
I know. Here, you get one.
Okay,
I'll get
very
the other.
Well,
Let's
this
try
is
not
so
to cry.
Amazing. I know.
Oh my gosh! Look how cute.
Very cool.
Yay.
Very cool.
Oh, my mom's gonna be so proud.
Yeah.
Oh, she
All
should
right.
be.
Redefined by heart and faith. Let's go
That's
ahead
really fun. Yeah,
do
let's
smell test?
Take a
yeah.
nice little.
Here we go.
and ready.
Go. I'm gonna have this in my house.
that smells
We helped pick
redefined.
the scent, so we probably should have these
Yeah.
in our
Are you
houses, right?
redefined? You
That's
should-
beautiful.
You
Yes.
definitely
Well,
should
Walleska,
feel
thank you
redefined.
so much.
Exactly.
This is so
Of
Of course,
beautiful.
my pleasure.
Such a
And-
perfect, you know, collaboration and complementary way to, you know, use that redefined name and brand with the scents. And you were honestly, when we were kind of thinking through, hey, we should really start to develop these partnerships, you were the first one we thought of, because we were just like, oh my God, how cool would that be to have a redefined scent? It's just such, it's kind of like that, the buzzword of the
Thank
year,
you.
and we hope for many years.
Thank you for sure.
Thank you so much for being on our show.
My
and we
pleasure.
look forward to following your journey and sending all of our friends to you to buy candles.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. I appreciate that. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Absolutely. So we will see you back here next week at 10 a.m. And for now, be well, and hopefully you have a brand new day.